Today we're looking at a topic where international law meets sovereignty and where geography turns legal rights into strategic choices, the extension of territorial waters, what it means under the law of the sea, and the realistic pathways for Greece. Let's begin with definitions because clarity is the first line of serious analysis. Territorial waters, also known as the territorial sea, are the maritime zone where a coastal state exercises sovereignty in a way comparable to sovereignty on land. That sovereignty is not unlimited in practice because international law also recognizes specific navigation rights for other states, including innocent passage. But the core point remains firm. Territorial waters are a sovereign domain. Now, the legal rule that structures the entire conversation is straightforward. Under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, a state may establish its territorial sea up to 12 nautical miles from its baselines. That is the recognized ceiling, and it matters because it anchors the debate in law before it drifts into slogans. Greece has already exercised this right in the Ionian Sea, extending its territorial waters there to 12 nautical miles through national legislation. This is not a minor detail. It demonstrates that the issue is not abstract. It is a sovereign instrument that can be implemented in a targeted way, depending on geography and broader strategic judgment. So why does the Aegean become a more complex equation? Because the Aegean is not just water and coastlines. It is a dense maritime geography of islands and sea lanes with real economic activity, fisheries, tourism, transport, and with heightened strategic sensitivities. In such an environment, every move is interpreted through a dual lens: what international law permits and how regional stability is managed. This is the crucial distinction that is often lost in public argument. The right exists under international law, but the timing, method, and scope of exercising that right are political decisions. They require technical preparation, diplomatic groundwork, and a clear assessment of escalation risks. Serious states do not confuse legality with impulsiveness. They align legality with strategy. From a realistic standpoint, public debate tends to circle around three broad pathways. The first is gradual, geographically segmented implementation, step by maritime areas, with full technical documentation and careful diplomatic preparation. The emphasis here is sequencing and risk management. The second is maintaining the current status quo in the Aegean while strengthening other maritime policy tools, surveillance and enforcement capacity, mapping and administrative readiness, maritime spatial planning, and overall governance at sea. This approach focuses on capability and resilience. The third pathway is a more decisive move in a window of political opportunity, when international conditions and alliances are assessed as more favorable, and when the risk of escalation is considered more manageable. Across all three, one principle should guide any serious conversation. This subject does not reward triumphalist rhetoric. It rewards institutional precision, technical preparation, and strategic composure. Now for the practical part, how do you separate analysis from noise? First, don't confuse territorial waters with the continental shelf or the exclusive economic zone. These are different legal concepts with different rules. Second, always ask where exactly. Geography changes the operational and strategic picture. Third, ask what changes in practice. Think navigation, enforcement, fisheries regulation, and administrative competencies. And fourth, be skeptical of absolute certainty. In international affairs, the loudest claims often conceal the thinnest reasoning. The bottom line is clear. Extending territorial waters is an act of sovereignty grounded in a legal rule that international law recognizes. Greece has already shown that targeted implementation is possible in specific maritime areas. The Aegean, however, is a more complex equation, one that demands discipline, preparation, and choices designed to endure, not headlines designed to inflame. If you want more high-clarity, responsible analysis like this, without slogans and without theatrics, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and stay with us. And if you'd like to support this work more actively, become a channel member. Your membership helps us produce deeper reporting, clearer explainers, and more practical context, episode after episode. Now tell me in the comments, Do you want us to break down the differences between territorial waters, the continental shelf, and the exclusive economic zone with simple diagrams and real-world examples? We'll take it step by step in the next episode.